Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to our continuing live coverage of the WTVA World Championships here on Bowl TV. I'm Lucas Wiseman, and after having the morning off, it's a pleasure to be back with you again this afternoon as we get started with the final squad of women's trios qualifying live here on Bowl TV. After this squad, we will know the top the top four teams who will advance to the semifinals this afternoon right here at Sunset Station Strike Zone Bowling Center. So the teams on our featured pairs for this first game in the big window, we've got Korea and Hong Kong. Also have Lithuania and Russia. The top right corner, Russia not a full team, so they've got a pacer. And then in the bottom right corner, Chinese Taipei and Latvia. You can find all of the results and the live scoring right on bowl.com/world2013. One squad has already completed their final three games of qualifying. Canada leading the squad this morning with a 212.5 average. The Korean team that you see right there in front of you on the big window, that's Roo, Lee, and Sun. They had a 223.33 average on the short pattern a couple of days ago to lead this squad. And they're not going to have to do a whole lot to stay ahead of Canada from that first squad. In fact, we can do some math and figure out exactly what they would need to stay ahead of the Canadians from the first squad. And they just need 18-15 for 3 games, which is an average of 6:05 per game. So I'm going to say that the Koreans probably are not going to have a problem getting that done. So I would be very surprised if Korea does not advance into the semifinals off this squad. And we'll have a pretty good indication by watching them here this first game whether or not they're going to have any troubles today. But basically, as a team, they just need to average 202 today, and that would be enough to keep them ahead of Canada. The other Korean trios team was second on this morning squad with 211.56 average. Chinese Taipei on this squad, Wang Chao and Wang, averaging 210.78 on the short. They will need to put together a good day to make it into the semis. Remember, the top 4 advance. And I think that there are a lot of teams that have the potential to bust into that top 4 for the semifinals here. The pattern being used on this squad is the medium pattern, 39 feet, sole. They bowled 3 games on the short, now they bowl 3 games on the medium, and that's how we determine our semifinalists for the trios event. Congratulations to Canada again last night. They won the gold medal. Only the second time Canadian men's team has won a gold medal in the World Championships. Last time was in 1995 when Mark Dubois won the singles event in Reno, Nevada. I expect that the semifinals will take place probably in about 3 hours, 20 minutes. Maybe a little quicker than that, but certainly it won't be any sooner than 3 hours from now. These three-game squads take a little bit longer to bowl than on the schedule. So about a little more than 3 hours from now is when the medal round will begin. Question in the chat of if the Team USA women on this squad have a chance to make it to the medal round. Sure, I think that a lot of teams on this squad have a chance to make it in. I tweeted earlier that I think that the Team USA women, which is Nation, O'Keefe, and Puhowski on this squad, need to average about 695 a game to top the score from Canada on that first squad, and I would guess that would be enough to make it in. But that's a lot of striking. But Shannon and Stephanie did strike a lot, won the gold medal in the doubles on this pattern, so it certainly is possible. Team USA down on lane 36, if you want to follow them, and I think we'll have them for the last game. They should go to 44 and then to 52. But I do think that there are a lot of teams on this squad that if they can put together a big set, and when I say big, I mean probably 2,100 for 3 games, which is a lot, 700 a person, could make it into the top 4. So we will know a little bit better after this game what the scoring pace will look like. Just tuning in, we are live at Sunset Station Strike Zone Bowling Center. Final round of qualifying in the women's trios event. We've got Korea and Hong Kong in the main window. Korea, the leading team on this squad. I think all they got to shoot is about a 6.05 average per game, and they should be in great shape to make the semifinal round. And right now they are well on pace to shoot over 600 this game. And again, we hope that you will join us for the semifinals, which should take place in about 3 hours from now. About 3 hours from now is when the semifinals are scheduled. Not scheduled, when they should take place. A little behind schedule. A split for Rue in the sixth. She's our reigning world champion in the singles event from last week. The Koreans are still off to a pretty good start here. Because they bowled so well on the short pattern in the first round, really don't have to do a whole lot today. Team USA down on lane 36, off to a pretty good start this game. Curious to know what country everybody's watching us from today, so you can post that in the chat if you see our chat window, and if you don't see our chat window, you can send me a tweet at Lucas_Wiseman, at Lucas_Wiseman. Let me know where you're watching from today on this final squad of qualifying for the women's trios event. You can also follow World Bowling on Twitter, the World 10-Pin Bowling Association, which is at World Bowling. And I'll post those Twitter handles in the chat for you so you can find them a little easier. Bethany Marie tweeted at me, says she's watching from Corona, California, in the United States. Thank you, Bethany, for watching. Appreciate it. People watching in Denmark, Greece, Sweden, San Francisco. Another person in Denmark. Got a lot of folks around the world who watch our live streaming here on Bowl TV. Aidan Byrne of Ireland is watching. Tweeting at me. A couple of folks watching in the Netherlands. Fortunately, the Dutch bowlers are just off to our left for the live streaming, and they'll miss us to the right, it looks like, for the next game. The Whittings are watching from Melbourne, Australia. Thanks, Matthew, for watching the live streaming. I know it's 5:30 a.m. Tuesday morning there, so thanks for getting up early. Somebody watching from Romania. Uh-oh. See in the top right corner, we've got a 5-7-10 on the board. Never like to see those. Bad news. Big split there for Lee in the 8th. But once again, the Koreans don't need to do a whole lot on this squad to make it into the top 4. So just a few more frames left in the first game of the day on this squad. Starting the 9th frame with Korea and Hong Kong. The other pairs are in the 8th frame as we progress here in the women's trios qualifying final squad. Team qualifying starts tomorrow. So that'll be team qualifying is all day tomorrow and Wednesday. All the men's teams on one squad, all the women's teams on the next, and they'll have 2 days of qualifying. Well, there's 6 total games, 3 on each pattern, and then we'll know our all events medalists on Wednesday after that final team event squad. Thursday morning is when we get started with the Masters. Round 1, round 2. Thursday evening is the men's and women's team semifinals, and then Friday morning, our men's and women's Masters medal round. And Friday afternoon is the gold medal matches for the men and the women in the team event. Misaki Mukitani with the front 8 down on lane 33. Thanks to everybody in the chat for mentioning that. Unfortunately, not even close to our camera range here, but Japanese are bowling a pretty good first game. They're bowling the kind of game that the United States needed. But like I said, a lot of teams still have a chance to make it into the top 4 from this squad if they bowl a big set. I think the Misaki struck again. Misaki Mukitani of Japan with the front 9 on lane 33. The Japanese bowling a very big first game. And they were in pretty good position after the first round of qualifying at 18:33. So the big game here definitely puts them in the hunt to make the top 4. Now the Koreans have a little work to do here in the 10th if they want to get to that 600 number. A little bit of a low first game for them. A little lower than I would have expected on this pattern. Bad finish for Team USA. 208 for Plahowski, 204 for Nation, and O'Keefe can only strike out for 194, so not the kind of start that they wanted to have. It's going to be real tough for them to make the medal round now, so I would guess that it looks like the U.S. women will probably be shut out of the medals here in the trios event. Well, Misaki Mukitani with an 8 count on the first shot of the 10th. So no 300 game for her, but the Japanese bowling a huge first game. Well, Sun Yun Hee with a double in the 10th helps get Korea to 621 that game, so they are on pace to stay ahead of Canada. Just need about 600 each of the last 2 games. I think that should be enough to keep the Koreans in the semifinals. .664 for Hong Kong, a good game for them. Chinese Taipei, I think they shot 597. Latvia 515. Well, all the pairs are done right in front of us here, so we will wait for the start of the next game. They wait for everybody to finish a game before they blow the whistle and move them to the next pair, so hang on and we will get started with the next game pretty shortly here. So we're about to get started with game 2. And I adjusted the camera over, excuse me, to 57 and 58 where Sweden and the Netherlands will be bowling. I know we've got a lot of folks in Europe who are watching right now, so slid the camera over to 57 and 58 for Sweden and Netherlands. On 51 and 52, looks like the Dominican Republic and Mexico. And on 53 and 54, Puerto Rico and Costa Rica. Jeff asking in the chat about the Team USA trials. Yes, I'm usually at the Team USA trials. They will be held here in Las Vegas in January at the Orleans. More information at bowl.com/Team USA trials. So I know a lot of the viewers will appreciate being able to watch Sweden and Netherlands this game. Got a lot of Swiss and Dutch fans, sorry, Swedish and Dutch fans out there who are watching the live streaming. So I slid it over there for you. Hunter wants to know, for the Team USA trials, when do they announce the patterns? They announce them right before practice session. You don't know until you get here. Team USA is moving toward us. They'll be on the featured pair for the last game, but at this point, I'm not sure that if they're going to be really contenders for the top 4. Scores are updated after the first game, and kind of expected that Korea would still be in the lead and that Japan would make a big move, and that's exactly what happened. Korea with that 621 still leading, but now only leading their squad by 32 pins. A 219.25 average. Japan at a 216.58 average. Canada and Korea right behind. They were the ones who bowled this morning. And Chinese Taipei, 597, they drop out of the top 4 based on average. A huge game from England, a 753 moves them up to 7th based on average. So they've got a legit shot to make it into the semifinals if they can bowl a couple of good last games. The Swedish team that we have for you right now, they shot 667 last game and have moved up quite a bit. They are in 10th place at a 205.42 average, so they have a shot to still make it into the semis if they can finish strong. Team from the Netherlands that's on our featured pair, averaging 200.08, 16th place. Certainly, if they put together a couple of big games, they could potentially make it into the semifinals as well, but they would need a couple of really big games to get there. And when I say big games, probably about 7-15, 7-15, something like that. A couple of 700s, 7-15, somewhere in there. Ghislaine van der Tol up for the Netherlands now, lane 58. Ghislaine will be sticking around to bowl the Queens next week. All right, I got a couple of folks who've tweeted at me, thanking me for switching the camera over to Netherlands and Sweden, so you're welcome, guys. Just kind of base it on the audience that's watching and which teams are in contention. And so it's kind of how we come to those conclusions. Both these teams are well ahead of Malaysia and Brazil in the standings, so that's why we kind of shifted it over. Show you some teams in it have a little bit better of a chance to make it into the semifinals. And both these teams need huge games. They need a pretty big finish here to make it in. Netherlands needs a much bigger game than Sweden does, but they both need to bowl well here, as they are both outside, well outside of the top 4 currently. Wendy with a strike and the third. Just tuning in, you're watching live coverage of the WTBA World Championships here on Bowl TV. Final squad of women's trios in progress, and our top 4 currently based on average: Korea, Japan, Canada, Korea. Chinese Taipei, Sweden, England, Singapore, Sweden round out the top 10. You can find the standings at bowl.com/world2013 if you would like to check those out. Give you an idea of exactly where your favorite team stands. We've got Sweden and Netherlands in the main window. Got Dominican Republic and Mexico in the top right, and the bottom right, Costa Rica and Puerto Rico. Just tuning in, watching live coverage of the WTBA World Championships here on Bowl TV. Rebecca Larson from Sweden with a strike for 3 in a row. The Swedes struggling a little bit this game, a couple of opens last frame. And not too many strikes. Same thing for the Netherlands. Both these teams need big finishes here in these last 2 games to have a chance to make it into the top 4. It's looking pretty bleak for the Netherlands right now. They really needed to shoot over 710 each of the last 2 games on average to make it in, to have a chance to make it in, and definitely not on pace to shoot a 700 this time around. In fact, they are on pace to be under 600 this game. watching Netherlands and Sweden on the big screen, 57 and 58. Sweden starting to pick it up a little bit here at the end of this game, but things not going too well for the Dutch bowlers. Both these teams need big finishes the last 2 games to make it in to the top 4. So the Koreans are leading coming into this game based on average, and once again they're bowling a pretty mediocre game. They kind of pulled it out at 621 the first game, but they need to go about 600 the last 2, I think, to make it in for sure. And they're on pace to be pretty well under 600 this game. They have only 4 strikes through 6 frames, no doubles, and a couple of opens. So the Koreans are struggling a bit here. Japanese were in second based on average, and they are struggling this game as well. We've got 4 opens and only 1 double through 6 frames. Chinese Taipei would be the next team on this squad in the standings. They also are bowling a pretty subpar game. Only 1 double and 2 opens through 6 frames. England, however, is bowling another pretty decent game. Lisa John, Haley Rumke both stringing strikes. I think they're the ones that have the big chance to make a move here this game. They are 4th on the squad based on average. I'm sorry, 4th on the squad based on total score, and 7th based on average overall. And if they can bowl a big game here, England, they can put themselves in good position going into the last game to make it into the top 4. And they are on lane 31 right now if you want to follow them on the live scoring. Unfortunately, they will finish on 23, which is just 1 pair away from moving down to see us. Can't catch a break.
Well, Lucas, I appreciate your holding down the fort on your own the first couple of games.
No problem. Thanks for doing the same this morning. It was nice to be able to sleep in without setting the alarm clock today, so haven't had that for a while.
Jason Overstreet back with you. Lucas Wiseman has been certainly spending quite a few hours here providing live streaming on Bowl TV, so good that you were able to get a few hours to yourself and be refreshed for the second half of trios in the medal round tonight. Of course, team event coming up later in the week, next couple of days.
Yeah, qualifying for the team event starts tomorrow. The men and the women both bowl tomorrow. That'll be the first time that the men and the women have bowled on the same day in this tournament. And actually the men and the women will bowl on the same day the rest of the way. Because two days of team qualifying the next 2 days, so no medals awarded the next 2 days. And then the Masters starts Thursday morning, team semifinals Thursday night. Masters medal round Friday morning and team finals on Friday afternoon.
Yeah, schedule gets a little bit more interesting on Thursday and Friday with different things happening.
Yeah, even though we don't award any medals on Thursday, it should still be a pretty exciting day. So after today, the only medals we will know between now and Friday will be, only gold medals, I should say, that we will know between now and Friday is all events. All events will know on Wednesday after the final round of team.
It's nice to see in the YouTube chat that Kenneth is actually welcoming me back. So thank you, Kenneth. It's nice that usually Lucas is the only one that's missed, and I have to always settle for being the less popular stepchild of the Bowl TV broadcast. So it's nice to.
Hopefully they
nice
didn't
to
give
be
you.
welcomed.
Hopefully they didn't give you too hard of a time this morning when I was gone.
There was a little bit of confusion at why Lucas's voice had changed. Once Brian O'Keefe was able to join us and give me somebody to chat with, hopefully we provided a little bit of insight. Sounds like they're inviting you to Sweden, Lucas.
Oh, really? I've been to Sweden before. I've been to Stockholm. Have you been to Sweden, Jason?
I've not.
Oh, you got to go there
I
sometime.
hope to go someday.
Yeah. You got to go to Stockholm and go to the Vasa Museum. It's pretty awesome. Maybe they're inviting me to join one of the Swedish league teams. That would be pretty awesome. I've seen video. I've never been one in person, but I've seen videos of the Swedish league and pretty awesome. I've never bowled in Sweden before. I did bowl in Denmark once at the 2005 World Women's Championships. We had a media tournament. I bowled a 300 game.
Wow.
An 8-pin no tap.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
You knew that. I can't believe I took the bait.
But it was with a house ball and house shoes. So
Well, that makes it, I
should
suppose, a
count
little
for
bit
something,
more
right?
respectable. You know, with all of the international friends that we're making through all of this live streaming time, we could take a long vacation. We could go touring and to meet our Bowl TV friends. We have a young girl who's got this cool adventure this summer that she's doing in the United States. Her goal is to try to go bowl in every state in the United States, all 50 states, and she's gone to quite a few. Her name is Natalie. Some of you in the U.S. may be familiar with Natalie's Striking Summer, but she has the good fortune of one of her parents works for an airline, so that allows her to be able to go around and check out all different places at a reasonable cost. So that's what we need, Lucas. We need to find ourselves a airline sponsor and have Lucas and Jason's bowling around the world adventure.
That would be fun. We could live stream in every country in Scandinavia or something like that. I don't know. Rebecca Larson's bowling a pretty big game for Sweden, 268. Unfortunately, nobody else on the team is really bowling a big game. Jolene can shoot 211, that's it. You know, Jason, I never cough when you're not here, but as soon as you show up,
I make you ill.
I start coughing. It's amazing. I'm allergic to you. I swear that the 2 days that you were gone,
And we're not even sitting close to one another. We're on opposite ends of the table.
There's also a really strong smell of coffee over here. Somebody spilled a coffee over by my chair earlier today. Oh, maybe that's messing with me a little bit too. Not a coffee drinker.
Well, this, it's not smoke.
That's true.
Kind folks at WTBA and Strike Zone have not allowing smoking inside the bowling center during competition. England continuing to do well this game. You see Lisa John has only thrown strikes since Lucas started mentioning how they're doing. Autumn has struck in the ninth. We'll see if Haley Rumke can strike in the ninth as well and potentially put Team England in position to have some control over their own fate in the last game.
Andy James says, Lucas, I can hear some other guy talking. Is there a problem with the sound? Ha ha. Sorry, Jason.
Oh, Andy.
Andy will be here soon. I think that Andy's coming Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. And he'll be here through the Queens.
Great. That'll be.
Hey, we'll have to sign Andy up to help with the live streaming since Matt will be by himself for the Queens qualifying.
Yeah, that's going to be a treat for everyone. If you haven't gotten enough enjoyment with the sort of difference in style that Lucas and I provide, you have a live stream celebrity from the United States coming in, Matt Cannizzaro, who normally spends his time out at our Open Championships in Reno. The U.S. audience very familiar with Matt. He's going to be working the Queens for part of the time, so Lucas is actually allowed to have a day off.
I wish we could show you the English girls, but they are down on 31, and they're going to go to 23 for the last game. But they are making a charge, and they are still going to need a big finish this game and the next game.
Jonas asking in the YouTube chat if all bowling centers in the United States were smoke-free, and they are not. It is the United States, sometimes up to the states to regulate whether smoking is allowed, and sometimes up to the individual cities. It can vary from state to state, but it is not uniform across the country. So you will have some centers that are smoke-free and then some states that are smoke-free, and at least where Lucas and I live in Texas, it can vary from city to city.
Well, finishing up this second game, Netherlands struggled to a game of 5:59, and so they are going to be out of the mix to make it into the top four. They needed to shoot about 14:30 the last two games to have a chance, and 5:59 not enough to put them in the hunt. Sweden going to shoot about 6:35 this game. Probably could have used a little bit more than that though. And we'll see where that puts Sweden. puts them at 3,100. So Sweden still has a chance. They will need 7:26 the last game to pass Canada from this morning. So Sweden would need 7:26. And they would need 7:09 to pass the Korean team from this morning. So Sweden still has a chance. They need a big game, though. They'll actually be close by to us. They'll be at 49 and 50, I think, for the last game.
We'll keep an eye and see how they do. Since Sweden and the Netherlands have wrapped up, we'll take a full screen look at Dominican Republic and Mexico. Michael Thomas wants to know where in Texas Lucas and I live. Our headquarters of USBC is in Arlington, Texas. So we live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Team USA Training Center and USBC headquarters right across from Rangers Ballpark and right near Cowboy Stadium. Also, it's where the International Bowling Museum and Hall of Fame is. So if travels ever take you to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, stop by and visit us. Love to have you see the training center and the museum.
I think Aida Sanchez from Dominican is famous now because Kenneth Nielsen in the chat is talking about how she was the one that was dancing the other day with her headphones on. Remember we showed her doing that? Yeah, you said that she might not be happy about being put on the live stream doing that, but she didn't care. She thought it was funny.
Yeah.
And what did I say she would say? She's like, I'm a music therapy major. It's all good.
Yeah. Everybody's different about that kind of stuff. Some people don't, if they don't know the camera's on them, they don't like that. But Aida's really easygoing. She came along with the Dominican Republic team to visit the International Training and Research Center in Arlington a couple of years ago. So we got a chance to spend time with the Dominican Republic team, Almiguera and the rest of the group. It was a lot of fun. Everybody went to a Rangers game. Actually was able to go back behind the scenes and meet some of the Ranger players from the Dominican Republic. So it was a pretty cool experience. They're a good group. What was really fun about that is be surprised how many Major League Baseball players were excited to meet the bowlers from the Dominican Republic national team. Major League Baseball players almost as excited to meet the bowlers as the bowlers were to meet the baseball players. Something cool about getting a chance to hang out with people from your homeland. A lot of strikes in the 10th for England.
Yeah, they're going to be in pretty good shape. going into the last game. I was just getting my calculator out to do a little math. Lisa just struck for a shot in the 10th, put her in the 250s at least. Well, if Lisa John strikes out for 268, England would only need 627 in the last game to move ahead of all of the teams from the first squad. So, and I think that's kind of the barometer I'm looking at to see if the team's going to be able to make it in or not. That would put them ahead of Canada and Korea from the first squad. So they're going to be looking at that 626 range if she strikes out. If not, it'll be in the upper 630s.
Did you already mention what Japan's doing this game?
Yeah, I was just gonna look to see what they're doing here. Not great. A 180 game, a max of 212 and a max of 214. So
fall off the pace a little bit.
Right on par. Actually, I think that they will move down here for the next game. They're going to go to 53 and 54 for the last game. Japan will. That's what it looks like.
Now the leading Korea team off a little bit by their standards this game.
Yeah, they're
still in good shape thanks to Sun Young Hee is bowling really well in the anchor spot, but
I think they're still in okay shape.
Just off from their blistering pace that they have been at.
I mean, they're still going to need to do some work in the last game to stay in there. They shot 598.
So they'll give some ground. I wouldn't call them in trouble, but give some ground.
They still need 597 the last game to beat the score by Canada on the first squad. So they still have some work to do. They've just bowled kind of mediocre today on the medium pattern. I would expect more out of them on this pattern, but they've just shot about even today, so they're going to need like 598 the last game to stay ahead of Canada.
Making for an interesting situation because coming into this squad, you would have thought that Korea 1 team would have be in a very powerful position, which they are still. And they don't need a huge game, but I mean because there's many things that could happen this last game. Could see a bunch of teams from this squad get in. Difficult to tell just how secure Canada and that second Korea team should feel.
Yeah, I wouldn't feel real secure if I'm the second Korean team. Or the Canadian team for that matter. There's going to be some teams that just need to pop a pretty decent game to make it in, I think. But we'll have a good idea after this. After the update to the standings comes in. They're moving right now to their next pair for the next game. I think the semifinals will probably start in about 2.5 hours. Two and a half. Did I say 2.5? I think an hour and a half is what I meant. Yeah. Hour and a half. Because they've got one game to go, and then they've got to re-oil, and then they will start with the semis. Well, Jason, I think that for this last game, we should probably put the big screen on 53 and 54, which is going to be Japan, because they are going to be the only team that I see in front of us that is really in contention to make the top 4.
What did Singapore do last game?
190, 220, 190. So not a whole lot. Singapore certainly in the mix, but Japan, I think, should still be ahead of them.
All right, that sounds like the right thing to do, so we'll look to configure our system accordingly. I believe we have our cameras configured now for here the third and final game of the squad, game 6. All together with Japan and Canada on 53 and 54 in our feature box. Team USA and Indonesia on 51 and 52 in the top right. And Venezuela and Singapore down below in the lower right. We'll adjust that camera on 55 and 6 a bit so you can have a slightly better view.
I'm just looking at the standings that came in, Jason, and top 3 teams based on average are on this squad. It's Korea, England, Japan, and then Canada is 4th based on average. And it's pretty close amongst those 3 teams. Korea is 34 pins ahead of England and 38 pins ahead of Japan. So Japan currently 3rd based on average. Coming up with some magic numbers here as we watch Japan bowl in the big screen along with Canada. It's the Canadian team that's not in contention. The one that's in 4th is already finished. All right, so the top 3 teams on this in the standings based on average are from this squad: Korea, England, Japan, Canada 4th. So I think in order to stay ahead of Canada from this morning squad, Korea needs 597, England needs 631, Japan needs 635. And then for Sweden to get around them, they would need 728. And for Singapore to get around them, they need 756. So that's a lot. Not impossible. We've seen some 760 games out there, but Singapore's already got it open. So
that's to get around Canada.
Yeah, that's to get around Canada. So that's the goal for Korea, England, Japan, Sweden, and Singapore is those tallies. So for Korea, 597. England 631, Japan 635, Sweden 728, and Singapore 756. But remember, it's also very important for those who are the 1st and 2nd on the squad. You get to pick the pattern, although we saw that backfire yesterday because the top 2 seeds both lost in the men's semifinals. They picked the pattern and then they lost on it. So I don't know that it really is a huge significant advantage, but you do get to pick the pattern if you're 1st or 2nd. And we'll be able to keep a close look on Sweden. They are on lane 49, and they're off to a pretty good start. 3 doubles already. And if we had the right angle, I would be tempted to change 51 and 52 to 49 and 50, but the angle just doesn't quite match up.
Too extreme to be able to see much of what's going on.
It wouldn't fit in the little window that we have. But we will figure something out if Sweden continues to bowl well and is in the mix in the back half of this game. We'll figure out a way to get you some shots of him.
Well, all strikes for Japan in the second frame, so opportunity for them to build some momentum.
Bad start for England. A couple opens already in the first frame. Well, Claire just tweeted at me. She says, "Come on, Team England." So there's a lot of folks in England that are still awake because it's the evening time there, and they're hoping that the English side can make it into the semifinals. And the semifinals will start in a little over an hour from now. So we will know in the next 45 minutes which teams have made it to the semis.
Well, England certainly in very strong position.
They still need to shoot 631, I think, to be safe. And right now, only 2.5 frames in, but not on pace. Only 2 strikes and 2 opens. So they got some work to do. I just got another strike out of Haley.
It's one thing, as those of you who have been watching throughout the week know full well, which is maddening for the players, but switching pairs can just be very significant in this type of competition. Your margin for error and exactly what you have to work with can be so vastly different from where it is that you were leaving. That's how we end up with some of these teams that go from riches to rags and vice versa.
You know, I think one thing that might be a disadvantage for England is that they are down on lane 23, which is the far end. It's the last pair being used. And most of the other teams that are in contention on this squad are 39 and higher. So they're pretty far away from anybody who's in contention. So it'll be hard for them to get a grasp of what the scoring pace is for this last game and what they need to do.
Although they should know the score they need to get ahead of Canada, which is a pretty good benchmark.
Yeah, that should be a pretty good benchmark. But the only way they would not make it in if they pass Canada is if Sweden or Japan, Sweden or Singapore were to both some huge number and get around them. And you never know.
So didn't you say that number for England was roughly just high fives, just under 6?
631.
Oh, 631. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, to get ahead of England.
I guess it was.
Korea is the one that needs 597.
Got it. Down to Team 600 is no easy task out here right now. End of the block on a WTVA sport pattern. Sometimes they make it look easy, but it is not. If you're just tuning in, you're watching Bowl TV's live coverage of the 2013 WTBA World Championships. I'm Jason Overstreet along with Lucas Wiseman here with you. The final game of qualifying in the women's trios competition. And in just a few minutes, we'll find out which 4 teams advance to the medal round. As always, it is going to be close. You can find live scoring links on bowl.com as well as the standings, so you can watch along with Lucas and me as we find out if there's any drama here towards the end.
We're keeping an eye on England down on 23, as I'm sure a lot of you are on the live scoring. England's on 23, Korea's on 39. And then we've got Japan on 53, Sweden on 49, and Singapore on 55. Couple of doubles on the board for England now, so they've made up for the bad start.
Oh, big break for Japan there. That's 3 in a row for their leadoff bowler. Kenneth in the chat wishes good luck to Sweden, and he's going to bed. I know it is getting to be pretty late for some of our friends in some parts of the world. We appreciate everybody who's able to stay up, and if you can't, the broadcast will be available. You watch the recorded version, or you can catch the highlights. We have a highlight wrap-up package on Bowl TV at the end of every medal round.
Yeah, it's a little after 11 o'clock in Stockholm, so people are starting to get a little sleepy there. Hopefully if England makes it, a lot of the English fans will be able to stick around and watch, because I think the semifinals will start about 11:15, 11:30 p.m. in London. So we give you permission to stay up past your bedtime tonight if England makes it in. If I had to guess right now, based on the information that I have as we're in the 5th frame of this final game, I would say that our 4 teams in the semifinals are probably going to be Korea, England, Japan, and Canada, but I don't know what order that'll be in. The other Korean team with still an outside shot to make it in. if one of these 3 teams on this squad, Korea, England, Japan, were to fall off and bowl a bad game, then the other Koreans would be in. I think that England and Japan both need to shoot about 615, or they have very little chance to make it into the semifinals unless they get some help. And every time Singapore doesn't strike, the odds of them making it go down very quickly. In fact, they may already be out of the hunt here. They need at least 740, and that's going to be really hard for them to do. Not impossible. They can still get there. It's not mathematically over, but
I'm afraid this could go down to the wire. Lucas is looking at what's been happening to England after it looked like they were going to be in pretty good shape, stringing a few strikes together. Now a couple of splits in their last 3 shots.
yeah, if they go below 614 this game, they're going to be in big trouble. So they need to get something going.
We can't see them, but it just would appear that England doesn't quite have the same good look on 23 and 24 as they did on their previous pair, just looking at the scores, although Lisa John just struck in the 5th. So,
well, if England and Japan both shoot under 614 this game, it will be one or the other and not both that make it, if that makes sense. So if they both shoot under 614,
they would both go under Korea too?
Yeah.
Yep.
So at that point, only one of those 2 teams could make it. And Sweden needs to beat Japan and England by about 100 pins to get around them this game. And right now, not looking too likely at this stage.
That's a lot of ground to make up. Singapore's bowling a good game. They need an unbelievable game.
Oh, hey, if they all strike out, they shoot 789. But now it just went down to 778 with that, so.
Yeah, they just.
Every time they miss, it knocks it down another 10 or 12 pins, and it gets really hard.
Singapore looks really good this game, but just too much to make up.
Actually, that dropped them down another 20 pins. So now Singapore's max is 768. So they can only afford, with 4 frames to go, never mind, it's pretty much done now. That puts them into the 750s. They have to strike out all the way, and they still would have a chance, but that's asking a lot. Autumn Chamberlain is pretty much carrying England right now with 4 in a row. She's going to need some help, though.
And we'd like to remind everyone that in addition to the wrap-ups on bowl.com, be sure to check out bowlingdigital.com. Bowling Digital has complete highlight videos as well as photo galleries, tremendous amount of terrific content here from Herbert Bickle and his crew. Bowlingdigital.com covers the world of bowling. Whether it's here at the championships or beyond, be sure that bowlingdigital.com is on your bookmark. Also want to thank all of our USBC members that are watching. Bowl TV is made possible by United States Bowling Congress members. League season is getting started, and remind everyone to make sure that you are bowling in a USBC certified league and continue to support the sport and allow for funding of projects like Bowl TV.
Fred wants to know what Team USA is looking like. Well, they're looking good, but they're not going to make the cut. They always look good, but unfortunately they're not bowling great. So they're not going to make it into the top 4. So the US women going to be shut out of the medals in the trios.
This trio had really struggled on the short pattern and really put themselves in a position where they would have needed a near historic effort here in order to be in contention.
Well, Japan's looking pretty good. I mean, they're kind of doing what they need to do here. For the most part, staying clean. Have a couple of doubles tossed in there. But England is quickly falling into some trouble here. A couple of opens in a row for Haley in the 5th and the 6th. Autumn's the only one doing anything. They've got to pick up the pace. I think Korea is on pace to be the #1 seed, it looks like, from this squad.
Yeah, strike here for Japan on this shot, and they're going to start being in a little bit more comfortable position. Oh, that was a nice shot.
Nathan asking if Canada from this morning is still safe, and not yet. It's getting closer to being safe for them. I think it's looking very good, but it is still, they're not mathematically safe yet.
It was just outside your camera shot, but Japan's coach was literally pulling out his hair after that 9-pin leave. He knew it was a big shot, just as we had described setting it up, and a good one that deserved to strike. That would have been a double and would have put everybody on the trio with a strike and a six. Japan is just kind of hovering in that territory where they have just enough to be able to eke their way in, guaranteed ahead of Canada if they stay clean, but no margin for error, so that extra 10 pins would have really been nice. And as Andy mentions in the chat, England with all strikes in the seventh, so perhaps Team England positioning themselves for that stretch run into the medal round. It's going to be an interesting 3 frames, Lucas, a lot unsettled.
Yeah, for sure.
We know that Singapore is out. Sweden essentially,
they're not mathematically out yet. If they were to strike all the way out, every player, they would probably make it, but it's asking a lot. They still have almost three full frames to bowl.
Ooh, a tough leave for Japan. It's starting to look like Japan, England, and Korea for 2 spots.
Isabel from Sweden just left a 3-6-9-10, so I think that they have no chance to move ahead of Canada from this morning now. It's going to be a close finish.
Yet another big shot here for Japan. Got to get this spare.
Nope.
And that's why the 9 pin from that previous frame was so important.
Sweden missed the exact same spare down on lane 50 too.
So all of a sudden, Japan now tracking to go under 600.
Yeah, and all of a sudden it's looking better for the second Korean team. I think that the Canadians are in pretty good shape.
Yeah, that's one thing that the struggles across the board does mean good news for Canada team that's posted their score from the earlier squad.
With 2 frames to go, England's max score is 666. So that should tell you they have got to throw some strikes in the 9th and the 10th.
666, and their number is
631 to get ahead of Canada and 614 to get ahead of the second Korean team, which is looking more like it's probably the number is 614. But if Autumn doesn't strike again, that will drop that number, their max score, from 666 to 640, about 645. So it'll start going down really fast if Autumn doesn't keep striking.
Again, Team England not on our video pairs. We're following on the live scoring application, reporting what they are doing.
Now she struck again.
She did strike again. Wow.
Trios semifinals in about an hour from now, maybe a little less. Right here on Bowl TV. Teams start tomorrow. The Japanese men's team is down here in front of us, and they're looking a little nervous. They're doing math in their head. I don't blame them. They should be nervous. It's going to be a close finish here.
Well, Matsuda's gone. Great shot 9-pin, great shot ring 10-pin. I'd say if she'd, not that you expect to carry all the time, but boy, she hasn't been getting any breaks the last couple of frames despite throwing really nice balls. Now, Rumke opened in the 9th for England.
Bad news. Missed a single pin. So now their max is 644, and they are England's max. So they're flirting with some trouble here. I think that they're gonna be in big trouble. If they don't shoot at least 614, they have no chance.
Lisa John strikes in the 9th.
Japan is on pace to shoot right at 600. Oh, that was a big one. That's a big one because that puts their pace now at 620. And that's about what they need for sure to be in.
So if you're just joining us, we're in the final couple of frames of the last game of qualifying here at the trios portion of the competition. Watching live in the big portion of the 3-box, Japan put together all strikes in the 8th frame, and that's going to put them in a really nice position to be able to claim one of these 4 spots in the semifinal. Probably the main question we're looking at right now is, will it be England or will it be a second Korea team that joins them? Not a sure thing that Japan's in yet, but they're in a little bit better position, I'd say, than England. Agreed, Lucas?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think Japan's in pretty good shape right now. Listen, I think that Korea, Canada are in for sure. I think that, well, I can't say that Canada's in for sure, because if England strikes out all 3 players, they can pass Canada. Japan can pass Canada. Well,
score just updated, and Autumn
got a
double. Boy, is she coming through this game for England. Wow.
Now, you know what? Canada's in for sure. Canada's in for sure. So it's going to be Korea and Canada for sure. And then it's either going to be England and Japan or the other Korean team. So Autumn with 9 strikes in a row for England. Going to shoot 279 if she strikes on the fill. And she does.
That's big time. It's interesting, if you look at their scores, Autumn really struggled on the short pattern, but boy, has she owned it today.
If my math is right, Haley and Lisa need to both fill 20 pins in the 10th frame, and that would probably be enough to get them ahead of Korea from this morning, which at this point is all they need to do.
Nobody else can get there. Japan a little bit more difficult to pinpoint because they are just starting the 9th frame. But the Japan team all working on strikes. And that gives them a little breathing room.
Haley just doubled in the 10th for England. Huge, 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 huge.
So don't go to sleep early over there in England. I have something to watch here tonight.
So it looks like Lisa John needs a mark in the 10th frame for England. If what I'm seeing is correct. So if Lisa John gets a mark, that should be enough to get England in. They are as far away as you can get. I see her bowling. She didn't strike.
She looked unhappy.
I don't know what happened.
I don't know if that's unhappy ring 10 pin, unhappy split. We'll have to wait for.
It's hard to see it. I can't see the back row of pins from here.
No.
So we'll have to wait for the live scoring to update.
And I know for all those English fans, it's excruciating to hear me say that she's unhappy and we don't know why until the live scoring updates. So some high fives for Lisa.
It looks like she made a spare.
For her sake, that was a spare conversion.
No update yet. I think it's going to be Korea, Japan, England, Canada in some order.
Well, I see Lisa on the approach, so she's got a mark.
Looks like it. And that would be enough. And she did. She went 9 spare, so she doesn't even need to throw the fill ball, but she does, of course. And it looks like England is going to just barely squeak in. Probably as the number 4, would be my guess. Shot 176. They shoot 624.
And they needed 14.
That puts them at plus 219. And Korea had 208, I believe. Yeah, so they just got around the Korean team. Big split in the 10th for Japan. They're trying to make things interesting here for them. So we got to start figuring out what Japan needs now. Korea shot 654. No problem for them.
Take a tight shot of the pin, see if she can make this split. How about that?
Nice. So let's figure out exactly what Japan needs here. They need 618. They're at 201 in the leadoff, going at 214 pace in the number 2 spot and a 207 pace in the anchor spot. So that would be enough. I think if they stay clean, they should be fine. Yeah, they've got a little bit of work to do here. They need count, and they need marks. So Japan, a lot of pressure here in the 10th frame. Trying to stay in the top 4. Great shot. Well, that eliminates the count problem right there, so that was a big shot. So let's say that she spares here to close out the 10th. That would put her at 215. And they need 618. So that means their anchor bowler needs a strike. So the count is still in play a little bit here. If she strikes here, see if her anchor bowler would still need a mark. Yeah, if she strikes on this shot, she takes the pressure off her anchor bowler, and she would just need count and no mark in the 10th. Alejandro wants to know what happens if they shoot 617 and tie with Korea. There would be a 1-ball roll-off. That's my understanding.
I think the coach from Japan is a little bit on edge.
This is a big one here. This takes the pressure off if she can strike. There it is. Big strike.
Huge.
Big double. So now Matsuda won't even need that much in the 10th. She'll still need some count. But it's not locked in yet, but it's getting pretty close. Nothing like waiting until the last frame to lock up a spot. The Japanese coach is pacing back and forth for a minute there.
Who can blame him?
2:24. Our anchor bowler needs 194. And if she goes 9 miss, she would shoot 196. So she needs count. Anything less than 7 on this shot is trouble. Oh, it didn't matter. If she'd have gotten the 8 and then gotten 1, I think they would have had enough. So the 7-10 really didn't come into play there, but that is it. That is enough. That puts them at 620. They needed 618. So Japan looks to be in.
Yep, celebrating from the Japanese contingency, or contingent rather.
And then actually, had she doubled in the 10th, they could have gotten to the number 2 seed and had lane choice. I mean, pattern choice, but it looks like they're going to be, let's see here, probably 3rd or 4th. Need to wait for their final tally here. Six on the fill for 627. Got about a little bit, just a little bit more than they needed. All right,
I think they're pretty happy.
Yeah.
What do you think?
And actually, the fill ball means that they have to bowl. They have to bowl Korea now, because she got 6 on the fill. Well, let's go through it here. Korea plus 283, Canada plus 225, England plus 219, and Japan plus 218. So they finished 1 pin behind Japan, or 1 pin behind England. So it looks like, if everything's right, and I got this wrong yesterday, so I want to let's make it clear that it's not official. Got Korea versus Japan and England versus Canada in the semifinals.
Well, folks, if there's any doubt about what this means to the athletes, the countries involved, I think you just saw that picture that explains it all right there.
So we'll wait for the official scores to come in. This actually is a really fast squad. This is the fastest trio squad we had in 4 days. So I would guess that the semifinals will probably start at about 30, 35 minutes, somewhere in there. My guess is that they'll start practice at 3:20 and then start for score at 3:30, but we'll have to wait and see. I don't know what Pekka's going to decide.
Again, just waiting on confirmation on the official scores. Please be sure to check back with us for the medal round. Follow WTBA on Twitter at World Bowling or USBC at USBC. I'll make sure that you're updated once we're underway.
It looks to me like it's going to be Korea, Canada, England, Japan. That's what I've got at least. So as expected, the practice is going to start in 35 minutes, and they'll bowl for score in about 45 minutes from now.
So roughly the bottom of the hour, 45 minutes from now, bottom of the hour for
I'm just waiting for the final standings to come in. Shouldn't be long now. But I feel pretty confident that we've got the numbers right. So the final standings are exactly as we expected. Korea, Canada, England, and Japan. Korea will bowl Japan. Canada will bowl England in the semifinals. And we will start bowling for score in a little bit more than a half an hour right here on Bowl TV. So we'll see you back here in about a half an hour.